Hey, so today I'm just going to give you a quick review of the iPhone 11 case by Mous. It is the blue leather contour, and I just got it a few weeks ago, and so in this video you're just going to see some of my initial thoughts and feelings about the product in general, and hopefully give you a better idea if you should buy the product as well. So my initial thoughts on receiving the case is when I got it is this case is really well put together. You look around the sides and everything around it, it just flows. It just really works well together. You can tell that they did a good job taking their time and putting a lot of effort and care into this product. I was really impressed with that. And my favorite thing about this product has to be the style that it takes with it throughout your day. When you carry it around and when you have it on the table next to you, it just looks professional. And I really appreciate that. That's one of the #1 things that I look for in an iPhone case, besides, of course, the ability to protect it, is the ability for it to just look professional and look fun as well. The blue leather on back really helps to add to that style, and I really like that, but especially with how thin it is. There's a lot of cases out there that are just way too thick for my style, and they just feel bulky, and I don't want something bulky in my pocket. That's one of the amazing things about Apple, is that they've always made their phones so thin and so slim, and I've always appreciated that. And this really does a good job at making sure it takes advantage of the slimness of the phone. And actually, if you look at the sides of this phone, you'll see that it is slimmest in the middle, and it actually comes right down to the screen in the middle and then bumps back up on the edges. That way, when you're laying it face down on the table or something like that, it's raised from the screen. It's not going to be having any of the screen touching the table, which is another huge thing that I really appreciate. I don't want my phone getting scratched up every single time it is face down on the table, and I want the ability to be able to put it face down on the table because I don't like my screen lighting up every 5 seconds whenever I'm getting a ton of notifications and I'm just trying to have a conversation with people. So this really allows for you to be able to keep that face down on the table and not have to worry about it getting scratched up. Something that you will have to worry about though when it's face down is since it does slim back down in the middle to where it doesn't have any raised edges, if there are any surfaces that have like almost a round edge on it, you will have that potential of getting it scratched up. Or if you're putting it on something that doesn't have, that won't be touching each edge, and it's only be touching the middle, that also can get it scratched up. So things that I'm thinking of is I'm sitting outside and I'm sitting on a bench or something like that, and the panels of the bench aren't that thick. They're not extending from the bottom to the top of this phone. They're only covering about that part. If I put my phone like that on top of it, you see how it's not covering this edge or that edge on the phone? And so that means that it's going to be sitting right on top of the screen. And so that can kind of get annoying, but it does allow for the phone to be more slim and not have as much weight to it. And so, but it is something you have to consider. It can get annoying, but as long as you're remembering that, then it's fine. You could also, instead of setting it like this, just set it like that, and then the edges will make sure it's raised off of the surface that it's on. Now, continuing at that for a second longer, with my phones, I usually like them to be grippy around the edges. Just because I have a lot of times set it on something face down and it tends to slide around. And this phone especially does that because all the edges feel like they're plastic coating, and so they're not rubbery at all. And so if you set it on something on the table, it just slides around pretty freely. But luckily, Mous has done a lot of testing, and from what you can see, they drop it off of cranes and all sorts of that. So if it does fall because it's sliding around, hopefully it's not too high of a surface, and they claim that it can survive a ton of different falls, so it should be able to handle that. But again, with that though, if I set it on my lap, there's a lot of times where I'm just sitting there and it'll just slide off my lap like that. And so I have to make sure that I either have it in a place where it's not going to just slide off, Or the advantage of the leather on back is it's actually pretty grippy, where it can stay on my lap and not slide off. It stays pretty good. But I assumed that the leather would also help with it sliding around on the table. I expected that it wouldn't slide around, but it actually does. I think that there's 2 points on this phone that are a little bit further raised up than the other points, and that would be where the mouse logo is on the phone, and also right around the camera where that plastic's at. And so when you slide it around the table, it's actually balancing on those 2 points, and so it's able to slide and it's not really catching the leather. And so that's good because it doesn't scratch up the leather, but again, your phone's kind of sliding around. Again, that's not too huge of a deal because they're doing a good job protecting it, but still something to consider. Just some final thoughts with the phone. I made sure that the phone wasn't going to be blocking any of the wide camera angle lenses, and I was really impressed that it's not. You can still get the full range view with the new wide angle lens camera from Apple, so that was great. No obstruction there. Another thought is I looked everywhere, like on their website, and Mous doesn't do a very good job at explaining that their leather is waterproof. I did find it in some of their advertisements, and I've tested myself. If you get water on the leather, it's fine, and it does a good job of resisting it. So that's great, because my phone is waterproof, my case needs to be waterproof as well. That's how I at least view it. Okay, and lastly, just taking this case on and off. The way that they recommend doing it is actually through the camera hole on the front of the case. And so when you do it, you're supposed to take the camera and push with your thumb and grab on the outside corner. And so, like so. And it comes right off. It actually fits super snug, and so it just fits right to the phone. That's been really nice. I thought that indicated really quality material. And then on the inside of this case, you'll see that it has a couple places to store SIM cards if you need to store it in your SIM cards. You can see the soft material on the inside of this case to make sure it's not scratching up the phone as well. And this case just feels solid overall. It doesn't bend much, and online it talks about the AiroShock technology that it has on the insides of it if the phone is ever to fall and hit the ground. So the phone, it just fits right back in. You just put it right on there and just push it in all the corners, and there you have it. So check it out. My final review on this phone case is I think it's one of the best phone cases that I've ever had. It's my first time trying a mouse case before, and so I'm really impressed. I've tried Spec, I've tried OtterBox, I've tried all those random cases that you can buy for cheap at stores, and this just feels super professional, super solid. I love the style and look of it. I love the feel. It just feels so compact and so solid, just like an Apple product should feel like. It's a perfect companion for your Apple product, and it's great. You can check it out on their website. There are a few different colors that you can get for the leather style for your iPhone 11. And so the styles that they've got there for you are the blue leather, the red leather, the white leather, and they've also got a black speckled white leather for you. So just kind of look through that and see what looks best for you. I think it's a great case. It's worked well for me. And I'll update this video for you if anything changes in the future. For my final review, I'd give this a 9 out of 10. This online site doesn't let you do out of 10. It only lets you do out of 5. So, I mean, 4.5 out of 5. I would give it a 5 because I don't think it lets you do half ratings. But I think it's great. I'd recommend it. The only thing that I can find as a con to this is that it just slides when it's on the tables and on your jeans or whatever it is. And that can kind of get annoying and increase the chances of it falling. But as Mous claims, it has incredible fall protection. And so I'd say check it out. Well, great. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any more questions on the case and what it's been like for me and my experience, just comment below and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, and I can answer pretty quickly. Also, remember to like and subscribe so you can see more videos like this in the future, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.